YouTubers. I know it's been again a long time since I have updated, but I thought I'd try to give you a very quick one at least. The most recent weight loss video that I had done, I've had several people ask, please update, and I'm sorry I haven't. I fully intended to, just life and things get busy. The weight loss is going pretty well, not as fast as I would like, but does it ever? I am still doing a very low carb diet, still loving the effects of it. It still seems to be doing really, really well for my body. I still try to keep around the 20 carb ballpark. Sometimes it goes up to 30, but if it's veggie fiber, I don't worry about that so much. Weight loss wise, to update you, I don't remember where my loss was the last time I made a video, but right now I am, let's see, 267.4. So if you round that, that's roughly about 78 pounds down from my high of 345. So that is where I am. I can't think of anything particular that I really wanted to add, but in general, it is still the very low carb ketogenic diet. So I have on my other video gotten some comments, oh, you can't diet, diets don't work, or, don't use fancy names for how you're eating or what have you. It is what it is. Everybody's kind of got a name for the way they go about it. Gives you something to Google and look up, but ultimately it's just a low carb way of eating if you prefer that term. I know some people really prefer the term, and I understand, because diet sometimes does imply short-term. Way of eating implies the long-term, but ultimately, either way, it's word semantics. It's what we eat. And the way that I seem to do best with is really watching the carbs. It helps the blood sugars, and it helps so much about your body. It helps inflammation, and when you're really insulin resistant person, it seems to be the way to go. I had a physical scheduled for tomorrow to kind of see how blood work and things like that were going, but the person who was going to be doing it had a family emergency, so they called me this morning to move that, so it's not going to be for another couple weeks. So I'll get to see how my blood work and A1C and all that's doing. In general, I do think my blood sugars still have more room for improvement. Even though I'm eating a minuscule amount of sugar in comparison to the past, I still think they can get better. My hope is to get my A1Cs into the 4s, but I don't know if it's going to be there yet, because I think my fasting is still a little bit too high for that. But it's still certainly not bad compared to a lot of the modern standards, but I'd like to keep my blood sugar down under 100 pretty much all the time. My fasting still floats above that just a little bit some days not. Depends. Depends on how I'm feeling. I notice if I'm fighting off a cold or something like that, almost always that affects my blood sugar by a good 10, sometimes even 20 points. It's kind of surprising how you see those little patterns when you monitor it. And I do need to do better about monitoring it. I'm still not the best at that. Definitely room for improvement though. Speaking of numbers, I do still strongly advise logging your food and your numbers of what you're intaking. Keeping a food journal or a food diary online. I use MyFitnessPal still. I've tried going back to the paper, but I just don't find it as convenient. Maybe more convenient to jot down, but when you have to go and look up a new number or something like that, that's when MyFitnessPal really shines for being a little easier to just go ahead and log it, and your numbers right there. You don't have to look up those numbers later. Anyway, it helps tremendously. I think it's invaluable to know what you are eating. Every time I've slacked or gotten lazy about my journal, I stall out. That is a factor. Eating too late at night seems to be a factor, kind of keeping a little tighter window, more like intermittent fasting. That seems to be a helpful thing too. If you don't know what that is, Google it. I highly recommend it. One other thing I wanted to talk about that just hit my mind. Sorry, scatterbrained. Weighing. Seeing a lot of people really in the various diet and weight loss groups trash people who weigh daily. Don't be obsessed with the scale, don't live by the scale, don't let it rule your life, etc. That is very true, but I personally advocate weighing daily for me. It may not work for everybody. If that scale rules you and makes you want to eat more because things didn't go your way or is a stumbling block to you in any way, then yeah, don't weigh. Just get away from that thing. But for me, it's an accountability. I also, from a long time of doing it, find that the accountability is a big, big deal, but I expect it to be up and down, up and down, up and down. If you have that expectation and you know that your body is going to have days where you may gain 2, lose a pound, gain 1, lose 3 pounds. You're going to have fluctuation from day to day. You may have 2 or 3 days where your body just does the exact same thing, but the thing to pay attention is your overall trend. Is it going downhill like you want it to, or maintaining like you want it to if you're at a good weight? I think having that tool and understanding where your weight is, it's a huge help. It is a kick in the pants, so to speak, if you're not losing and your body's not doing what it needs to be. It lets you know, hey, maybe I do need to take a closer look at my food journal. Maybe I need to be a little bit more careful about night snacking or what have you. Maybe I'm not measuring things. Maybe I'm eyeballing things too much. That can be a factor. But I think the scale is a good tool. Don't be too quick to dismiss it. I find if I don't weigh every day, I find I get lazy. You don't tend to care as much or something. I don't know. It's a big help to me to weigh every day. And the only reason I bring that up is when someone's doing weight loss videos or you encouraging a friend or what have you, don't be so harsh on them if they do weigh every day, because I think it can be a good thing. Don't dismiss the scale. Just do what works best for you. I don't think everybody has to be the same on such a thing. It's okay to, have differences in our lives. Not everybody likes eating the low carb way. It works really good for me and for a lot of people. I strongly recommend it. But I also realize there's a few people who just don't enjoy that. So, bye. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys for watching and have a blessed day.